Joining me now by satellite are three strong supporters of the new law. Dr. Dwayne Sauter, an academic who's written extensively about immigration policy. Ross Fernholm, a former Arizona State Patrolman who now runs the all-volunteer Independence Border Guards in Yuma. And Gwen Lally, a junior at the University of New Mexico and the second runner-up in last night's Miss USA pageant, who was asked about this very issue on stage and who believes her answer was what kept her from winning. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you. Well, I want to be very clear. My answer didn't keep me from winning. It kept me from being first runner-up.
And we're off.
Okay. Dr. Sauter, this is your field of expertise, so let's kick it off with you. What do you say to those who argue that SB 1070 is just targeting Americans on the basis of skin color and nationality alone?
Absolutely, Will.
What would you say to them?
I'd say absolutely. The bill does not target religion or Muslims or homosexuality, just illegal Mexicans.
Well, yes, but you would also say, right, that the state legislature is taking great pains to ensure that it isn't a racial profiling law, even going so far as to amend it to include the following language.
024.
Prosecutors would not investigate complaints based on race, color, or national origin.
That's right, just Mexicans.
Dr. Sauter.
Forgive me, Will. Latinos and Latinas.
And the argument that we don't want to be a country that pulls people over and asks for their papers based on how they look.
Yeah, I don't like it any more than you do, but that wouldn't be the case if it weren't for the Latinos and Latinas. El criminales, los illegatos.
That's not Spanish. Gwen, let's go to you. You were asked last night about the immigration law, and you said it was an issue of states' rights.
And for that, I paid a price.
That notwithstanding, you raised an interesting issue. This law will surely be challenged in the courts on constitutional grounds. After all, states aren't allowed to create their own foreign policy, but it sounds like you've got the right answer to that, which is?
I'm a survivor, and I don't know the word quit.
Probably other words, too.
Shut it.
States aren't allowed to create their own foreign policy, but this isn't about foreign policy, it's about law enforcement. Decades of federal inaction have led to a dangerous and unstable situation on Arizona's border. And if the federal government can't or won't act to uphold the law, then it's up to the states to exercise their power and fill that void.
I'm an American, Will, not an Americant.
Let's dump out of it.
Ross.
Yes.
No, the whole thing. Dump out of it.
I'm going to go ahead and assume that you're a supporter of Second Amendment rights, judging by the rifle you placed in your live shot.
Yes, sir.
A frequent argument you hear from gun rights advocates is that we don't need any more new laws. What we need is the government to enforce the laws we already have. Couldn't the same be said about immigration policy?
Yes, sir.
I'm saying you're a supporter of the new law, right?
Yes, sir.
I can't take my eyes off of it.
Because? Because laws that are unwieldy and unenforceable aren't laws at all.
I don't follow.
Dump out of it.
Mr. McAdoo,
McAvoy.
I beg your pardon?
Doesn't matter.
Why don't we just build a damn wall? The Chinese built one, and you can see it from space. Are the Chinese better than us?
No. Although there's an old saying, show me a 15-foot wall and I'll show you a 16-foot ladder.
Well, let's just build a 17-foot wall. Hell, build it 18 feet.
Yes. Yep. But you see their point, right?
Whose point?
The people who build ladders.
How about we get those
I'm
folks
sorry,
to stop building
okay? I'm
ladders and
sorry.
just build
Just
a
dump
damn
out
wall.
of it.
Will, can I jump in?
She cannot jump in.
Jump on in, Gwen.
I think we're creating an environment where pageant contestants are afraid to speak their minds when it comes to important questions and whatnot. And that's not the America I grew up in.
You're 20 years old. It is the America you grew up in.
Not in Oklahoma.
Especially in Oklahoma. But we're going to have to leave it there. When we come back, Deepwater Horizon sinks to the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico.